Good evening, everybody. It's August 10th, 2021. I'm back from my long vacation, or long weekend vacation, rather. So let's take a look at Bitcoin. We had some nice action, pretty much everything as I expected it to go. So this is zoomed out on the hourly chart. First thing to mention is this green downtrend I had drawn here from the peak at about 65 down to this high at about 59.5. We saw that rejection here in that wave 3 right about from that area, and we are now above it. And if we zoom in, we did come down a couple times here to test it, and we've gone up from there. So that's looking promising. Let me look at this micro Elliott wave I've been tracking here. So just want to delete that fib real quick. So looking at the blue count here, I have 1, 2, 3 hit the ideal range here based on 1 and 2. 4 hit the ideal range here. And now we are in the ideal range for 5 to top out right here between the 1764 and the 20 extension. It looks like we may see a little bit further of an extension here. So actually, let me undo so I get this fib back, and I'll explain what I mean by that. So like I said, based on 1 and 2, we are in this ideal range right here, which was up to 47.2K. Now if we zoom in, right, so we know at this point we should be in this blue 5, right? So we should be able to see 5 waves within that 5. And this one right here looks like a 1-2, and then further confirmation of that is that we topped out temporarily at the 1.236 and then bottomed out at about the 764 on this yellow fib, which indicates that if we get another press up to about the 1618 at about 47K, that's where this yellow 3 tops out. So there's our 1, 2, and 3 hit about that 1618. So we should now be in this 4th wave of 5, so yellow 4 of blue 5. And it's unclear whether or not we are completed here or if we need to come down a little bit further. Ideally it would come down to about 44.1. So this very well could be A. We're working on B right now, and then we get a C down. Really anywhere here between like 43 and 44. So it's possible that we still have a little bit more to go. It is possible that it's already done the little retrace here as well, and we just press upwards. But in either case, let me just put a little green support box in right here. This is where we're looking to hold on the micro, and then we will likely see another wave up here to this area on the yellow fib here between 47 and 40, actually 47.7 and 48.9, so possibly up to about that 49K region. And because this larger red box here is the ideal place for 5, it could just drop, maybe this is our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's just like a really truncated pattern. That could already be done. It could drop from here. But as long as we remain above 43K, it is a reasonable assumption that we will have one more high here up to, like I said, between 47.7 and 48.9. And if we do that, that basically just means this 5th wave has extended upwards just a little further than where it ideally would have gone, and there's nothing wrong with that. We can see those extensions, especially in crypto. You see extensions on the 5th wave pretty frequently, so especially as we enter the bull market. So that's pretty much what we're looking at right now. Support needs to hold above 43, and certainly if you have longs on Bitcoin, below this yellow 618, that 42.4 is a pretty decent place to stop out, because that would indicate that this pattern is now done. And let's just look at that real quickly. Let me do like a new chart here just to make it a little bit more clear. Okay, so there we go. Let me zoom out. So if we're looking at the entire pattern, remember this is the beginning of this wave here. This is 1. So we're going to go from the start of that with a fib retracement. Okay, right. So we had 1. We had 1 up here. That's the start of 1. 1 up here, 2, 3, 4, and we're working on 5. So if 5 has already ended, which at the moment I don't think it has, but if it has, then this is where we're going to look to buy a pullback, ideally in this zone between the 618 and the 382. So down to 35, anywhere between 35 and about 40K would be ideal. I am going to be a bit watchful though at this 236 area, this 42.5K. And the reason is at the beginning of this bull market, if I go back, oops, let me put this on log. Those numbers might have changed, hang on. Okay, so at the beginning of this bull market, we had a 1 up to here, and then 2, actually this is probably more than 1 right here. There's the 1, and then 2 really only came down to that 236. It did not give us much of a push down, not much of a retrace. So having a very shallow 2 here in the initial part of this bull run, it is very possible that we get sort of the same thing again now that we're working on the first and second wave of the final wave up in this bull run. So let me change this a little bit. Sorry, I didn't have my log chart on. So actually the ideal range is 34.6 to 38.8. But we're going to watch, okay, about 41.7 is the 236. And again, that's assuming that this is the top right now. If we get another push up, then we're going to need to draw the fib up a little bit higher, which is fine. But if we've already topped, if we break below 42.4, then I'm going to look for 41.7 at a minimum to be the retrace, and potentially deeper into the 35 to 39K region if we go below that 236. So we're just going to need to keep watching the price action closely here and see if we get any indication that, you know, just a shallow retrace is all we're really going to get. And then if this does extend a little further, like I'm expecting at the moment, to maybe 49, 48, you know, high 48, something like that, then similarly we'll just need to draw our box up a little bit higher. So if we go to 49, we might only retrace to about 43, but we do have room still down to 35, even if we extend higher. So that is the quick update on Bitcoin. At the moment, just waiting for this move to complete. And we'll go from there. And then as far as like scalping a short, let me show you what I'm looking for here. So if this breaks down through this support zone, assuming this is the top, maybe that's, you know, the 5 instead of the 3, then this is going to give us an A down and a B up and a C down like this to get us down into that ideal retrace zone that I was talking about. So basically this is not really a great area to short because we still have the potential for coming up higher. But this is a much better area to short. So once we have this A wave in, if in fact we are going into it, once we have that A wave in, we can then look for a scalp short on the B wave here, and then I'll be looking for longs further down. And we'll just use our Fibonacci extensions and retracements to find the targets for those sorts of things. So at the moment I'm not shorting. I have taken all the profit on my leverage longs. I've closed those, and I have sold a little bit of my spot holdings. I'm kind of selling as we get up a little bit higher. Nowhere near all of them, but I am looking to kind of flip that stack a little bit. So I'm selling some in here, a little bit up here as well, and then I'll buy back again on the retrace. Like I said though, not all of it, because Bitcoin really does like to extend, so who knows. I mean, it could even go up into the 50s before it does a little retrace, and like I said, the retrace could be quite shallow. So I'm not suggesting that you sell all of your holdings by any means. We've got much further to go, and you got to keep the big picture in mind, which is that we're looking for 80 to 100K for the end result of these moves up. So, all right, I think that is everything. Any questions, please feel free to hop into the Trade Like a Whale Discord and ask. Always happy to clarify anything there. All right, guys, good night.